to put them in foster care where somebody else can be paid to feed them. And those are real stories that I heard from counties that border here. We have a moment that we have to capitalize on. But I will be very frank with you, and I will tell you something that you probably already know, that this is going to be one of the hardest districts in the country to flip. And some people will tell you that that means that we don't work here. Some people will say, well, we should only work where we know we can win. That's how we ended up with the Trump administration. When we walked away from rural Virginia, and we walked away from rural America, that is what has led to this moment in America. And with what happened in the Supreme Court, with gutting the Voting Rights Act, the only answer is to work everywhere, to leave no community behind. We cannot sit by and continue to let the billionaires, the autocrats, this Epstein class, rule every decision. Because here's what you and I both know is our neighbors actually don't agree with these things. There's no better example right now than data centers, right? How many people are actually really for data centers? How many people are saying, yes, 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 please bring them to me, please bring them to me? But everywhere we're seeing politicians on both sides of the aisle, some of them, saying, no, we should. We know what Glenn Youngkin's tax breaks to data centers have done to this state. We know what they're going to continue to do if we don't rein it in. We were in Dickinson, and there was a sweet older lady, and she took my hands and she leaned in, and you know when someone grabs your hands with both hands that they're saying something really important that you need to hear. And she said, I just came out today because I needed you to know that our energy bill in December was $1,100 and our monthly income is $1,400. That is a fixed income senior in Southwest Virginia. That didn't start because of Donald Trump. That started long before, and we have just accelerated it. But what we've seen in this moment is that the Trump administration, as of last night, does not tolerate Republicans who stand up for their communities. They do not tolerate Republicans who stand up for morality. I've had a lot of people on the campaign trail tell me they are Thomas Massey Republicans. Anybody else heard that statement? Well, Donald Trump sent them a really loud message last night about where they belong in his party. Yeah. So my message to us is that the mission ahead is not convincing people to be Democrats. The mission ahead is convincing people to show up and to vote for their people. I tell people all the time, be an independent, and you know what? I know you're gonna vote for me because I'm so solid in my policy for this community. When people are hurting this bad, the answer is not to get political on them. We have to meet people in their pain first, and then they don't really care about where our politics are. And that's what this campaign is doing. That's what Rick Boucher always did. That's the example we have to go back to, because there are so many people, there are a lot of Republicans who are still longing for that type of representation. And we talk about how this is a race for Congress, and it is. But it's also, I am running for the House of Representatives. We get one shot to send somebody to represent Southwest Virginia. And I think that person should have lived here. I think they should love here. I think they should have received medical care here. And I think they should know the cost of what it takes to be a Democrat here. Because I know the people in this room. You guys have been working, and this is some of the hardest work anywhere in the country. People who organize in communities like this, I wish Nova Democrats would come down here and understand how hard you guys work. The risk it is to even host events like this sometimes in businesses because you're worried about retaliation and things like that. My family, we have a small equipment farm dealership that my grandparents started in 1961. My business got leaked. My family business got leaked on a Republican docs group. The message was, they have a Democrat running for office in the family. Leave them bad reviews. Don't do business with them. Tell everyone you know. But you want to know who put a stop to that? The Republicans in my community that weren't MAGA. Because, wait a second. Well, they say people are evil all the time. We're democrats, right? But we're still the person they're sitting beside at church on Sunday. We're still the person that they speak to in the grocery store every time. We teach their kids. We take care of them when they're sick. I hate to tell people, when you look around, when something bad happens in a community, the people who are usually the first to show up are the Democrats, right? Because we have a conscious and collective way of thinking. We're not driven by a need for profit and an incessant need for more. But that is the place we're in right now. Is the incessant need for more has reached an all-time high, and we have got to stop it. Somebody said, you got a real fight against Morgan Griffith. I do. But I also want to say Morgan Griffith has a real fight against me. Because he hasn't seen a Democrat like me. He hasn't ran against a Democrat like me. And he can go and he can try to lobby and he can try to convince these guys in Washington and Russell, Dickinson County, that Ford putting AI in their trucks to decide if they can start it or not is a good idea. Morgan can go run on that stuff. Morgan can run on protecting the Epstein offenders. I'll run on justice. I'll run on consumer freedom. I'll run on health care. So I'll close on this, and I said this before. We are going to meet people in their pain where they are hurting and not in their politics. The Republicans are going to try to drag us into this democrat social issue type of situation. We are not doing that. My answer to that is, Morgan Griffith, please stop talking about people's genitals when people are hurting this bad. Because guess what? In Appalachia, that's not who we are. It's not who we've ever been. We're going to take this district back. And I'm telling you that it's going to take every single one of us, but this district flips. It doesn't flip every couple years. Congressman Wampler held it for decades. Congressman Boucher, a Republican. Congressman Boucher, a Democrat, held it for decades. Morgan Griffith has had 16 years, has done nothing but hurt us, held no town halls, and has even ticked off some of his best friends, and I know because they told me on the campaign trail, because of his obedience to Donald Trump this term. That's where everything changes, guys. That's where our opportunity lies. So we're going to stay focused, we're going to stay grounded, we're going to be in every community, and we are going to make sure that people are actually hearing truth, and we are going to show up and we're going to show up to serve. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I'd love to talk to you more.